up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny town red. Kill addiction, beer in my hand, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I am Shane. I'm hanging out virtually with Fox.
Howdy, friends.
We've done a bit of a hobby stock take today.
Yeah, we have.
This week.
This
been
week.
a while. Yeah.
We
Mine
have.
was mostly today.
We've spent the week and or day, respectively,
Yep.
going through all of our hobby belongings. This came to us because one of our homies was like, I don't even know what you have anymore, because I mentioned like wanting Death Guard or having a Death Guard model, and he was like, I didn't even know you had that. And so we were like, well, let's put together a little list of all of our hobby goodness and talk about it on the show today. We're going to mention maybe why we got it, what we plan to do with it, why we even have it. Are we going to throw it in the bin? Are we going to press on with the project? All things of that nature. I'm also curious if any of you are listening and have your own massive stock take list of hobby projects. Let us know in the Discord or the YouTube comments. You can find the links to the Discord on hobbyhomies.com. And click buttons. We got all sorts of buttons on there, so suss that
Heaps
out.
of buttons on there. So we're talking hobby projects as in miniatures, not hobby tools and or products, just to clarify.
That's a good clarification. Not terrain, none of that extra stuff.
Nah, just models, figurines, whatever you want to call them, miniatures. Quickly, before we jump in, I like to frequent the old Westgate Wargaming Club down in Spotswood at Two Birds Brewery.
I have heard rumors of you going in and out of such places. Whispers on the grapevine say, hey, I think Shane was at the Westgate Wargaming, what's it called? Two Birds Brewery.
I like to lurk. No, I go there to play Grimdark Future games, and I've been getting crushed for the last probably every time I've ever been there. And today,
hang on. Don't say anything. I need to take my jacket off. I'm slowly taking my jacket off. I'm grabbing my beer. Got my elbow on the table. Carry on.
I defeated and crushed defeated my opponent. What the hell?
Just spat my beer on the carpet.
Okay.
Yeah, just for comedic effect and because I hate this carpet. Tell me more.
Both hilarious. I played against Michael and his robot legions, who I've played against several times now, and have been humiliated every single time. But this time, no. It was he who was humiliated by my Jay Stealer cults, or Soul Snatcher cults, as they are also called. Yep.
That's amazing. So has he been bringing the same list every time?
Yes,
or?
Pretty much. He's been expanding on it, which is the ideal hobbyist, really. Like, he started with something small, he bought something, he painted it, and then he plays with it, which is
goodness.
Inhumane.
Yeah, it is inhumane. It's a crime. Absolute crime.
It's a travesty. But it was good fun. Good fun to get. And that's why I am late for our recording tonight. So my apologies.
Like literally an hour ago, you would have been leaving that Westgate Warm-Up Games Club, probably. Yeah. That's awesome. You're fresh off a game, fresh off a win. It's both.
Got that W.
It's rare for you to win at anything, but also super rare that it was a tabletop game against like like another player, who chooses to play it as opposed to Caitlin, who I'm still convinced you rope in. So well done, dude. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have any prizes to give you, mostly because I feel like you don't deserve it. But if I did, I would. I would.
I appreciate the gesture there, but not enough about me.
Sure,
Fox.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's kick this off. I want to know about your 40K stock take. What have you got in the shelves of that warehouse of hobby?
Sure. Great question. And I want to preface this by saying, for all those listening, when you hear us spend the next 30 minutes talking about our 40K collections, don't fear that this episode is going to be 3 hours long. 40K makes up much more than half of our total collections.
Yeah.
So
but there will be more than just 40K. So
it will be.
If 40K ain't your jam, we have some of your flavor coming soon.
Yeah, some of your bits and pieces. I just counted, I think, 11 other things on my list.
It's not 40K. Nice.
It's not 40K, yeah.
Cool, perfect.
Some of them are still Games Workshop properties, but I digress. So 40K, what have I got? Well, I'll start with my what I would call full-scale armies. And those are, the first is Tyranids. I don't know where to start with Tyranids, because if I could only own one army from one game for the rest of eternity, it would be Nids. I've bought and sold them 3 or 4 or 5 times over, because I think that was the thing that got me into wargaming. Like seeing some Hormagaunts on a table, that's when I was like, first of all, I want to play whatever this is. Second of all, I want to own those, and I want to play with those. So they've always got that special place in my heart there. The problem is I can never pick a damn paint scheme for them. So I often buy them, build them, get to the painting stage and not fall in love with the paint scheme and just sort of shelve them for a while. So they're in that perpetual state of being bought, sold, painted, and then shelved.
So a couple of test models, and you just lose the love for it.
Yeah, it's because
for the time being. So
exactly.
it is only fleeting. Like it comes and goes. But I find that interesting that the one army that you would want to have is a swarm army, unless you wanted to go nothing but warriors or something like that. But
yeah, well, that's the beautiful thing about Nids. You can make a list out of 14 models and take all Carnifex and Nidzillas, monsters, or you can bring 400 models and everything in between. So it feels like it's probably the most versatile army. So if you're only going to have one, it feels like that's a good one. It's got everything. But yeah, I've also told myself never to sell them again, so that's good. Fool me once and fool me 4 times, but I will not sell a fifth. I will not sell a 5th Tyranid army. So
someone make it happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the right price. I mean, we can have that conversation. In fact, if you're listening and you want to buy my Tyranids, jump in the Discord. So I got Nids, all sorts of Nids, just a collection of all sorts. Like I wouldn't even know where to start. Just thousands of points of Nids. Most nuanced brew. Some built, painted, some in a box somewhere, Secondly, I got Necrons. I've got, this was like just 2 Indominus halves that I bought. Because I don't know how far into the hobby we were when the Indominus boxes came out. A year in? 2 years?
Nah, a couple of years in. Indominus was like 2019 or 2020 or something. Pre-pandemic, but not long pre-pandemic. Sure.
So we were a fair bit in, and at that stage I had never had a fully painted army. So I saw 2 Indominus Necron halves, and I thought to myself, Lead Belcher, and I've got an army. That was the goal.
And you made it happen. You made it happen, though.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
It actually became my first, it probably still is my only fully painted 40K army, top to bottom, rimmed and everything. So, and actually one of the only armies I've usually I'll buy an army, I'll build it, I'll paint it all in the span of, a few weeks or a month, and then I'll never touch it again. I really struggle to go back a second time and redo steps I've already done. But I haven't had that problem with Necrons. I added a Void Dragon like a month later, a Chronomancer, a couple of characters over time, and so I've always found them easy to go back to. So so I got a few of those. Harlequins. So I've got a full army of Harlequins, and if Tyranids are my nostalgic love, then Harlequins are my current love. The playstyle, the lore, and even painting them are all enjoyable to me. So I just, a lot of people find painting, they look at painting them and go, it's difficult. But if you don't care about doing diamonds on the infantries, on the little peoples, then just get an that's the one. Just get an airbrush and some stencils and make your vehicles look sweet, and then bada bing, bada boom. I love
I look
Harlequins.
at man, I look at Harlequins, especially some of the ones that I've seen across the table when you've played them several different times.
Yeah,
Um, and I think that I briefly owned Harlequins. I think I bought them off you and then sold them back to you or something.
that's right.
Um,
It was like a box of troop or something.
it was just like a stack of troops. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Might have been like a single unit. I can't even remember.
I think it
Or
was a
maybe
single
two
unit.
units or something.
I've
Yeah,
still
yeah.
got it
But
actually because I bought it
I
back
just
off you.
remember
Yeah,
it was like sprues in a cardboard box, and I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I'll have this." And then 6 months later, it's like, "You have this."
yeah. I was like, oh,
uh,
sweet.
yeah, but they would be so satisfying to paint. They just look awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they they're very rewarding because you can do just a
mm,
little bit to them to make them look real sweet. Um,
yeah,
the only hobby aspect of those I struggle with is that is all the riders because you have so many vehicles and each vehicle has 2 or 3 tiny little riders. It's like
oh yeah,
you have to paint your 40 troop and then you have to go paint another 40 riders, and the riders don't even feel like super essential. Like you need the troops on the table, but the riders
yeah, yeah,
on that hang off the side of the vehicles or ride the bikes, you're just like, I mean, you
yeah.
don't need that, you know.
Nah,
That's the
mm,
big part of that project that I still need to hit is just getting all the riders done and maybe adding a few more units. I just haven't been
yeah,
inspired to touch them because they've been really good, and
mm,
I'm like, if I played and won with them, I'd feel like I won because the codex was busted, you know. So
oh yeah,
not
yeah,
because I outplayed my opponent or whatever. So
yeah,
that
yeah.
never really interests me. So I think they're a bit more balanced. Maybe I'll throw them on the table for something if we're gonna play.
There's always Grimdark Future.
That's it. They're probably
I think
way.
they're
Oh,
called Death Jesters or something like that.
oh, they got their own thing. Dope.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
big. That is big. They may see the table again then.
yeah.
I've also got Beast Snagger Orcs.
Ah,
Um,
yes.
I got those. I fell in love as soon as I saw the preview for those because we mentioned continuously how goofy 40k orcs look.
They're
They're
the
not cool.
worst.
They're horrible. They're garbage, man. I just hate the aesthetic. Having
Yeah.
said that, when I see other people paint them, I'm like, I see why people like them.
Oh,
I
yeah. You
just
see what Hawkers paints, and it's like, okay, yeah, I
exactly,
see why this is like not a cult following, but this is like
yeah,
huge, why everyone loves them. But like, I just look at
yeah,
them and I look at the box art and I go, I just can't try
mm,
and replicate that, and I can't bring myself to get them.
yeah. I was always in
Yeah.
the same boat. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
respected them until I saw like a few of the homies in the Discord like show us some
Yeah.
painted ones and maybe some Kimbash
Yeah.
ones. I was like, all right, I see why you like them. It's just not for
Yeah.
me. But when the Beast
Yeah.
Snaggers came out as this more nomadic, tribalistic Warcraft
Mm.
3 style orc, I was just like,
Hell yeah.
I mean, talk to me about that.
Hell
So
yeah.
they're difficult to paint though. They've got so many little bits of fur and leathers and all kinds of stuff, bits of armor and skin tones and that. So I've
Yeah.
painted like 30 snagger boys, and that's it
Yeah.
really. Um,
Yeah.
maybe one day, if I get. I mean, it is October, so that's tempting. But
Oh, true.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not enough to get
Nice.
me over the line, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've also got Grey Knights, which is a sentimental army for me because actually, originally I bought them because I wanted to get. I was chasing get an army, my first fully painted army on the table, and I said, well, they're grey, so lead belcher, and I'm good to go. So basically, what
So
I
you
did with
took,
Necrons is what I
yeah.
tried to do with Grey Knights years beforehand.
So Grey Knights was version 1, Necrons
Yes,
was version 2.0.
correct.
But it's like streamlined version because Necrons don't have as many embellishments and details as the Grey Knights do.
100%.
So
And that's
you've,
where I
yeah,
stalled
okay.
with the Grey
Yeah.
Knights. So
Yeah.
I went, okay, yeah, I can get the silver and the blacks and the normal stuff happening, but then I
Yeah.
got to paint red shoulders and there's tabards and there's everything.
Purity
Uh,
seals and gold
oh,
skulls and
bleh,
yeah, yeah.
details.
Details.
um, so yeah, exactly, and that's where I
Yeah,
stalled with Grey Knights, and I did some sweet. They were the first ever attempt at like airbrush blending for their weapons.
yeah,
And I was super happy with those, but again, I just struggled to go back and do it with more. So they just kind of stalled out. And now they're just a small kill team army for me.
yeah, yeah.
The last army, air quotations army that I have is Kroot. I just have just a silly amount of Groot. So easily enough for 2,000 points, but the problem is you can't really with Groot.
No.
It seems so uninspiring to me to put 400 models on a table and play a game. I just don't like that,
Yeah.
So they will remain in limbo until, Games Workshop dedicate a bit more. I mean, they've got an elite choice now, like the new, I forget what they're called, but the new Kill Team box is actually an elite choice for the Groot.
Oh, nice. So you can run carnivores and the new ones.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that's sweet. I like that. But it's like, they're not much more expensive. I think regular Groot is 6 points. These new things are 8 points. They've got some cool equipment that you can bring.
Yeah.
But I'm like, come on, GW. I know it's just around the corner. Give us them heavy hitters.
Hell yeah.
Bring the big boys back, and then we got ourselves a deal,
Yeah.
If I could put 2,000 points of Groot on the table without needing 200 carnivores just to fill the list, I'm in, So,
yeah, dude.
But yes.
Yeah.
If you like Groot, go check out our Groot on Reddit. best subreddit going around.
I hear the mods are slack though.
Oh, the mods are garbage. Mods are garbage. The other people that post on it are fantastic, but yeah, I wouldn't trust the admin team over there.
Yeah,
they're a bit dodgy, I think.
Yeah,
but it's got 1.5 thousand members going strong.
Oh, the herd, the pack has grown. The
exactly, flock. The kindred. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I remember it was like a mere 900
just years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm quite proud of this achievement. The R-Groot subreddit is bigger than the Mantic subreddit, so I don't want to flex on anyone, but I'm flexing on you, Mantic Games. Come at me. Come hire me to run your subreddit
socials. Yeah.
I'm all over it.
Social media manager.
That's me. And then so that's my 40k armies, and then I also have bits and pieces of Drukhari or Dark Elder for those playing at home. Because I've got some racks and some scourges and a Talos pain engine. I just love all the homunculus coven units. And I just, every time I go to make a 2,000 point list, similar problem to the Groot, it's just too many models. So now I look at them and I go, ooh, 1-page rules would be less models. And I get to play Dark Elder. So that's always tempted me. That's the biggest problem with 1-page rules, is that it's reignited so many armies I wrote off as too big or too hobby intensive. Because it's sort of like a smaller anyways. I've also got some Space Wolves, 1,000 Suns, a couple of Death Guard, some AdMech, and some Gene Stealer Cults. Just little bits and drabs. Most of them are kill teams and or the start of a project where I go, if I can't paint a whole unit, I'll never paint an army. And then I never paint the whole unit, and then I usually just buy an army anyways. But for some reason, for those ones, I didn't. Although looking at that list, I absolutely did, and I've since sold them. Space Wolves, yep. Death Guard, yep. AdMech, yep. Gene Stealer Cults, yep. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
So what I've got is basically whatever I forgot to sell, I suppose. Or in the rare instance I painted. So that's everything for me. That's my entire 40k log. Tyranids, Necrons, Harleys, Beast Snagger, Orcs, Grey Knights, Croots, and the bits and pieces I just mentioned. So will it grow? Goodness, I hope not, but probably. Now I want to hear yours. It always grows. It's ever growing.
It is forever growing. Mine is very similar to yours. I think we share a lot of the same armies now. Once upon a time, we both had like almost opposites. Like we neither of us had the same factions and the same armies. And I think our hobby is kind of just like, as it's grown, we've gone like, I've seen something, you've gone and go, oh yeah, I'll get around that, and you've seen something, I've gone and you go, could get that.
Yeah, it is interesting because when we did start it, I remember we would always ask permission from the other one to like buy factions that they had. Yeah, I don't know. It was
the same answer every time. It was like, dude, get whatever you want. Like it's like it's cool.
Bro, do you want to borrow some of mine? Yeah.
yeah. But we're like, I'm really thinking about maybe getting some Harlequins. Like,
Yeah, bro. How?
is that
Sell you
going to
some of
be a...
mine. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
And now we're so deep into the hobby, it's just like, bro, I don't have time to. I don't even know what I've got. How can I tell you what to get? You know?
yeah. Or
Yeah.
it's like one of us gets something and then it's like months later, it's like, hey, look at this thing I painted. And it's like, I didn't even know you started collecting those.
Yeah. I've also got those. Oh, I didn't know you had those.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We've got
I'll,
problems.
we do. We're full of problems, not just hobby related, also personal and otherwise.
No.
I'll start off similar. So I'll go through my what you would consider an army, and then I'll go through all the bits and pieces that are left over.
Yeah.
So first ever army, Necrons. That
Yes.
consisted of two battle forces of the time that you couriered down from Queensland for me in replace of a microwave, I do believe.
That's right.
Because they're yeah.
There was
So they
only
were
so much room in the car, and I had to bring your boxes, so I left the microwave off. I remember asking Sarah, and I don't think she said yes. I think I just ended up leaving it off anyways and being like, "Oops."
nice.
But you got your
Sorry.
Necrons. That's all that matters.
Got my Necrons, and then you started all of this.
You're
So
welcome.
yeah, well, yeah, those battle forces, whatever they were at the time, were basically like each box had, I believe, 20 warriors, a ghost arc, 5 either death marks or immortals, and that might have been it. I think maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't quite
Ghost
remember.
Arc, yeah, but like it was and they were like $180, right? Which at the time I was like, Jesus Christ, like, I mean, admittedly, I was like a mechanic, an apprentice or something like that, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of money, right? And like,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, like it is a lot of money, but like in the grand scheme of hobby nowadays, that's an absolute steal.
Yeah.
Let alone
Yeah.
the fact that your guy, your hookup, had a deal going where it was 2 of those boxes for $180, and I was just like, take my
Yep.
money, like
It was
get in around that.
absolutely crazy. Yeah, because
Yeah,
basically you paid a start collecting price and you
yeah.
got I think, dude,
It must
I
have
think
been more in there.
yeah, I can't remember. Yeah,
I
I
can't
don't
remember
remember.
either. I've got so many models now.
I think that was
Um,
basically right though. 20 warriors, a ghost arc, and 5 immortals / whatever. Because
yeah,
that's
yeah.
four units each over $50
Because
easily.
then I like I first like like one of the first purchases I ever made to that was some Tomb Blades and a command barge or
Yeah,
annihilation barge, and
that's
then
right.
I remember using the Lord that could be on the barge as a overlord, and then
Yep.
like yeah,
I
mate,
remember
just yeah.
the army is so iconic in my mind because I saw it so much.
Yeah, it was all I played. It was the only thing I had.
Yeah.
yeah. It was all I
Yeah.
played for like 2 years. Since then, I've added wraiths and Churchy got me a monolith, which was dope. And
That's a bit.
spiders and lich guards and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Such a
And
sweet start to an
Indomitus.
army.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
and then you got Indominus. Yeah.
I got Indomitus later on, and then a command edition with half of Indomitus, like just basically Indomitus without the characters and all of that. And then that built upon my Necrons, and they're still slowly growing. Like I do bits and pieces every now and then. I've got so many Immortals and Wraiths and stuff that aren't even painted or primed yet, but they're ready
Wow.
to add to the force.
Do you
Oh,
how many you'd have like? You reckon you got like 4,000, 5,000 points of? You just got a silly amount of Necrons, right?
probably like 4,000 points worth. I reckon. I don't even know what points are worth these days anymore.
True.
But
True.
I for your sake, Fox, I will I'll make a battle scribe list and I'll like put a list together and see what it got.
I would just love to know. Yeah. Yep. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
I bet it's insane.
Oh,
It's awesome though.
it's got to be up around 4K.
Surely.
Then
If not.
I got into
Yeah.
Blood Angels after that. My Blood Angels now consists mostly of all Primaris. I had TAC Marines for a while, but I sold those, and it's pretty much all Primaris. Indominus half, some early. Oh, I've got some Death Company and a Death Company Dreadnought and Redemptor Dreadnought and heaps of characters like librarians and what are they called? Captains and lieutenants and all that sort of
That's right.
stuff. And recently bought like a Stormhawk and some Eliminators and some Reavers and all. Like I'm sort of falling back in love with that army for Grimdark Future.
Yeah.
So
What are they called in
yeah.
Grimdark Future? It's something funny. They're
Prime
Battle.
Blood Brothers or Battle Brothers. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
it's
awesome.
on the nose.
Yeah.
It's very on the nose.
They love doing that. Sorry for those who might be watching on YouTube, watching my floating head suddenly light up at times. It just does that when I get very excited. So
yeah.
Here we go again. I'm super excited.
Many lumens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love how
blinded me before.
I love how like bits and pieces your Blood Angels list is. You know, it's not like you built a list and then went out and bought all that. You just like buy random. It's like piecemealing. You're doing tapas or whatever it's called, but with
my hobby is basically tapas. It is just whatever I like at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You lit up.
Try
again.
a bit of that. Yeah, lit up. I'm excited. Tapas just that. Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah, I just buy whatever I think's cool, and like this is a common trend that you guys are going to see throughout this episode and my list. It's just like it's so random and so chaotic, but there is some method to my madness. I think just I focus on different hobbies, like different projects at a time, and then like everything comes full circle.
Yeah.
So,
would you say the method to your madness, like the method that you take, is I like it, so I buy it?
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah.
I knew it. We've cracked the code, everyone.
Look out.
Yeah, that's sweet.
But yeah,
in my mind, when I think of Shane's 40k, I think of Necrons, Blood Angels, and I'm pretty sure he has nothing else except for maybe that Gene Stealer cult army he rushed over the line for GTO. So I'll be surprised if you've got other stuff.
You're kind of right, but like I've got a lot of other like random shit.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But that sums up my three armies. GCL Cults is the third. Yeah. So Broodlord, Neophyte Hybrids, Jackal Bikers, Jackal Alphas, Mages, Sanctus, Holodeck guy like the DJ.
Yeah.
Gene Stealers, Lehman Rusters, Sentinels, Brood Brothers, Ridge Runners. It all started as a mostly a Brood Brothers kind of army for the GTO. I couldn't look at a paintbrush for like 6 months after doing all that. It was my actual taste of that hobby. You know that it's like, I mean, tournament frequenters know the fact of painting even in a car park at the front of the tournament is common, right? Or it happens. I was doing one less step down. I was painting up until like 2:00 in the morning to get up at 4 or 4:30 to go get ready and go to a tournament.
Yeah.
So that was brutal. But
I remember there was this moment where it was like maybe the first week where you're like, all right, I've built them. I'm gonna start, and then like I want to say maybe 8 days later, you sent me a picture of 5 Brood Brothers. Amazing bases. You'd left the arms off and the heads off. You'd sub-assembled 5 Brood Brothers, and I was like, this kid's not going to make it. It's like he's painted half of the minimum requirement for a single troop choice of 50 points. He is. I was like, I'm a warm up my airbrush.
Points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was so impressed that you did later smash out so much stuff and get it tournament legal.
Well, it wouldn't have been done if you didn't airbrush 2 of my tanks. 2 tanks and an APC for me. Otherwise, I was not going to make it because it took me an entire night to paint 1 Lehman Russ. And I was just like, there's only like 3 nights left and I've got 3 vehicles left and I've got more shit to do.
Yeah.
So you came in clutch there with the airbrush on those. So thank you very much.
You're most welcome. I saw your latest video on the Hobby Homies YouTube channel called Pile of Pride.
Yeah,
And you're like, here's all my painted stuff. And I looked at those vehicles. I was like, oh, I painted those.
Yeah, true.
Well, no, you did the tracks.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, a little asterisk over them.
Yeah.
No, in your defense, you
Yeah.
did all the tracks. You did everything else. I just put the base codes down, so that's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
I just had a chuckle. I was like, oh yeah, I remember slathering those.
True. Yeah, so Gene Stealer Colts, they're a really fun army. I played them tonight actually, and good. They're good. So that's my 3, I guess you would call like armies that I have. Well, I mean, even Blood Angels isn't enough for like a proper size army, but big enough projects and stuff like that. A recent addition to my army projects has been Tyranids. Painted up a bunch of Hormagaunts.
See, look how excited I got on the car. I lit up like
like
Christmas when you said Hormagaunts there.
Yeah, so I slap chopped a unit of those, and they came out great. So I was like sick. Bought another box of them. Bought some gargoyles off you. Bought some venom thropes and a winged hive tyrant. A recent collection. I don't think I have any intention of playing any 40k games with them, but a lot of Grimdark Future. So yeah, they've been fun. I've actually used some Hormagaunts tonight as Soul Stealers, like in.
Oh, cool.
So it's a bit of a counter or proxy, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean they look slightly cooler than Gene Stealers, so
yeah,
I would too. I would too.
Yeah. I also have some Tau, some breaches, pathfinders, drones, stealth suits. Basically started as a kill team. I think I got them when 2018 kill team first came out, whenever it was. And we played a couple of games with them, and we were like, why play 40k when fewer models do
when
trick?
Many K do the trick.
And then we're like, kill team, like we're never playing 40k again, and we didn't play kill team again.
That was great.
I painted them up. Oh yeah, so good. Painted them up, and I've added a few more over the time, like pathfinders with weapons, and started using them in Grimdark Future Firefight. So magnetize some.
That also marks the first faction, army, whatever you want to call it, of the night, where we knew this would happen, where one of us would say something and the other would be like, oh, I forgot about that. I actually also have Tau. I forgot. I've got must have been a start collecting. Yeah, it must have been. It's a ghost keel and some breaches and some stealth suits.
Oh, so, shit. On sprue or built?
Built and primed and like sort of undercoated. So
spicy.
I could actually whip out the airbrush and knock those out. I was doing a test scheme on the stealth suits and failed miserably with some oils. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do oils again, but I didn't want the stealth suits anyway, so that was fine. So I've still got breaches and a ghost kill, and I could slap that. It could be a small OTR army soon. Yeah, there you go. You reminded me. I don't know where they are though. Because I looked through all my drawers. Anyways, they're in here somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I've also got the Kill Team Octarius and the Kill Team starter set, the one with the Tau and the Reavers. I've got the Orc Commandos and the Death Corps of Krieg models for those, and and Blackstone Fortress as well, which I bought a few. Fox.
That's my specialty. Yep.
And then that gets to my miscellaneous 40k stuff.
Sure. Yeah, cool. I actually was thinking the other day, where did my Blackstone Fortress go? Like, I knew I'd sold it, but I was like, oh, who do I sell that to? I thought it was someone online, but I was like, I don't ever remember boxing it up, and we should play it.
We should play it. Absolutely. I haven't painted anything, but you painted one Trader Guardsman.
And I built all the enemies, so...
Yeah. I think it's just the heroes that need building, so that's easy.
Done, let's do it. Let's do it now.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go get it.
Yeah, I'll wait here. I'll wait here and light up with excitement.
So my miscellaneous 40k stuff... Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
Yeah. Just by the way, take a drink for a fun drinking game. Take a drink every time I light up because of my autofocus.
Yeah. Let us know how far you get.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. There's one. Okay, so my I have AdMech, basically some Skitarii Rangers and a Dreamcrawler. I've got 6 painted Scions, a Blood Drone, and a Lord of Contagion for the Death Guard. 10
Yep.
Bloodletters. They're basically various projects that I've started and stopped. Bloodletters, I've got no idea why I have just a single unit of 10 of them painted and based and everything. They're all done.
Yeah. I've no
So
idea either.
it's kind of cool. I remember doing it because I was like, it's when Contrast Paints first came out.
Yeah.
Contrast first paints. Yeah.
Contrast with
So I slapped those out and they're right.
Yeah.
I've got a new in Shrimp Snagger box.
Yeah, that's all right. Say no more, fam.
Say no more. Thousand Suns, half of what's it called? X-Bane, that box that came out a little while ago.
Oh yeah.
I have an Imperial Knight. I have the box game Gangs of Kimura, Lost Patrol, Necromunda, Goliath Enforcers, and Outcast Gang, and I have Gaunt's Ghosts.
Yeah.
And I probably have other stuff that I can't remember, but that's my what I call miscellaneous.
Did you buy a box of Gaunt's Ghosts and then never build or is it just
the
all
new
new
in
in
Shrimp.
box? Wow. I didn't even know you had that.
Yeah, I bought them
That's
at Guff because I think they over ordered, and Jim's like, "These are going cheap," and I'm like,
Say no more.
"Hey, no more, fan."
You had me at these are going.
Yes. These are going at twice the price. Yeah, okay.
All right, whatever, man. Ring it up.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut your
Say
whole mouth.
less. Say less.
Say less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. You got quite a ensemble of miscellaneous there. I feel like your
Like-
miscellaneous is more robust than mine.
Like I said, projects are just like whatever I'm vibing, whatever I'm feeling at the time. Things come and go. I have sold heaps of stuff, like basically all of my Death Guard, which came from the one
Dark
before
Imperium?
Indominus, Dark Imperium. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
fair
think I
enough.
almost had to Burnsy, I think. But
Oh,
yeah,
I think Burnsy sold
Yeah.
those to me. I think I've got your... No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Did you paint those? Were they unpainted or new on sprue? Or what
Some of them were painted.
Sure.
I forgot I got like the Stark Collecting box of Chaos Space Marines, the one with the Venom Crawler.
There you go. I was like, where are you? Yeah. Yes. You said AdMech, but
There's probably more. I don't know.
Oh, for sure. You'll find them.
Yeah.
Your AdMech is going to be Dark AdMech one day. TM.
One day. TM. Yeah.
That's going to be cool. I've always found that one of your cooler projects. That, I mean, you've never done anything with it, but it's cool in theory.
It's in here.
It's in here, yeah. As he points to his smooth noggin. Hey,
smooth.
So that's 40k for both of us.
Yeah.
This is where it's going to get wild because this is where we divert potentially. I'm trying to think of things. Well, Age of Sigma feels like the next natural progression.
Yeah.
So I'll speed run through mine a little bit more than I did for 40k. Age of
Those
Sigma
listening, make sure you're wearing PPE because we are just going to be slinging projects left, right, and center.
That's right. Your appropriate PPE is wear a backwards cap and have a beer and show no fear. So Age of Sigma, I really only have one army, and that's Skaven. I love the little rats. Absolutely froth them. Very excited that... Who did I see? Not One Page Rules, I feel like, posted something about they might be doing a Ratman stuff.
Oh, nice.
So some Ratman files might be coming out, which I'm very, very hyped for. But I've got a bunch of Skaven. Really want to paint those. I had a fun idea for a challenge that I still want to do one day that we have discussed. I don't want to leak anything, but we'll talk about that some other time.
I may need reminding.
Yeah, I'll tell you afterwards.
I remember.
Yeah. It's ambitious. But I love the rats. Like, maybe Skaven are my favorite just aesthetic from anything. Like, I love rats in general, and the fact that these like are rats with medieval equipment. Also
armor
like,
and weapons.
So that's cool. But then they've also got this chaotic like warpstone vibe where like they're just reckless with these highly explosive warpstones, and you know, on the table you might blow yourself up. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Nothing cooler than a rat terrorist. So I feel like rats are terrorists. To be
Wow.
honest, they strike fear into you with
Yeah.
just their existence. So
Yeah. Just rat suicide bombers.
Whoa! I was saying terrorists,
Oh, okay.
as in they scare
The
small
dog.
terriers. Yeah. What did you say?
My bad. We crossed wires somewhere.
Yeah. I also have a handful of Lumineth. I painted like 5, and they look sweet.
Oh, true.
I froth them. I've got them front and center on my little display. And I'll never paint them again because they took forever. But
You got dumb hats.
Yeah, some would say they've got dumb hats. Some would say that.
Yeah.
Some would say they look dope as fuck. I don't know. It just depends who you are. And then I've got like a Warcry warband of Oryx. Is that what they're called? I don't know what they're called. Big brutes.
Yeah. Oryx, something.
Yeah, I painted those in a day, so I was stoked with those. Just kind of practice a bit of a contrast over undercoat style thing, which later found out was slap chop, and love it. And then I've got 2 Scritch Spite Claws, whatever it's called, for Underworlds. And that's
nice.
I got 2 because I painted one, but I painted it quick to be able to play with it. And I wanted another one just new in box because I think it's dope. So
who hooked you up with that second one? Because they have been a sought after item for a while now.
Yeah, so it was at the Throw the Dice hobby swap meet.
Oh, you found them there.
$15.
No, oh man, nice.
Stoked.
It's like a third of their price when they were new.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny. I bought a big box of Skaven, one box of that, and then one other little quirky Eldar tank thing.
The Walker thing, wasn't it?
The Walker, the Metal Walker, new in shrimp from I don't know when, the 80s or whatever.
Sometime before recorded history.
Yeah, sometime before we were born, legit.
Yeah.
So, it's very cool. But 95% of my purchases were Skaven, so I guess that speaks to how much I love little weird rats. So, that's my Age of Sigma.
Nice.
You've got some AOS stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah. I got a bunch of AOS stuff as well. Basically, I've got Stormcast Eternals, one of my biggest army of all time. No, Necron's bigger. But Stormcast Eternals is probably second. Basically, I have just an absolute fuck ton from the Mortal Realms magazine. And I have Soul Wars and the first starter box, whatever that was called. Most of them have been built and painted. So those 2 boxes, and all the Mortal Realms stuff is like still on sprue. I haven't even touched any of that. You're
such a trooper because like I remember Mortal Realms rolling in every week, and you'd just be like, "Oh, I got to pick up my Mortal Realms." I don't even play Age of Sigma, and I've already got more than enough to be able to play. I don't know why I'm still getting these. And then like 3 months later, you'd be like, oh, I've got another 4 issues to pick up. And you just like, it was like a dentist appointment, but you just kept going. And now you got a box of unused, unopened
Mortal Realms. Still haven't even experienced it yet. Next time you're over here, I'll bring it out. And
I think you showed me it was a big tub, and you were just like, here's all my Mortal Realms. And I was like, what on earth?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I was like, can I have some of that?
My news agency was just so good.
Jeez, man, give me a sprue.
True. That works.
Yeah.
My news agent was so good. Like, she'd like ordered it in for me, and then like because of like shift or whatever, I missed like a couple of weeks, and then she like texts me and she's like, "Hey Shane, you've got 4 Mortal Realms magazines here," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll pick them up." I go like the next day, right? Pick them up, and then I'm like, I can just like bank these up, right? And like every 5 weeks, she'd message me like, "Hey Shane, you got 5 issues here," and I'll go in and I'll pick it up. Maybe not the next day then, but like a week later or something. But she was just like, I was on like tick. She was just like ticking them up. I go in there, pay my bill, ticking them up.
You had a tab. You had a Warhammer tab at your news agent. It's amazing. For the least played game in your entire collection. So good.
Yeah. And then when I picked up my last ever stack, she's like, the next one's coming out soon. I'm just like, no, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
She's probably like, I miss you, Shane. And then next time you go in there, it's got like a foreclosure sign on.
Oh god, I hope not. So yeah, got those. Got New and Shrimp Dominion box. I don't know why I bought that. I think maybe because it was
box.
around. It is a good box. It is awesome. The models are sweet, but I think it was like Indomitus FOMO, right? I was like,
for sure,
this is gonna happen again.
Yeah,
Age of Sigmar is popular. They're gonna fuck up again.
Yeah,
No, they made way too many.
Yeah.
So I will get there eventually, TM.
You can still get them on. They're still on shelves. It's crazy. Dominion.
Man, I saw an unnamed retail store splitting them up and selling them on the shelf.
Oh yeah, smart.
Yeah,
savvy.
You get it for like $200, the whole box, man.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, the thing is, like, it could have been Indominus, but people weren't worried.
No,
I think maybe they just overestimated. They launched it at a time that I feel like 40K was doing so well.
Yeah.
No one was really fed up yet with the the power creep and the meta and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It's a great box. Every time I see it on the shelf at Throw the Dice, I'm just like, I mean, I could, but I guess like everyone else, I'm like, but why? I've already got an Age of Sigmar army that I don't paint and play. Why would I want two more? So anyways, I'll probably buy it. Where'd you go? Shane's left on his own volition. But he's fast returning. Hello there.
Back.
You just little dip out there?
I don't know what happened, man. I think
all this Age of Sigmar talk, you were just like, I'm getting bored already.
I feel like my Chrome is just like, I am not having a good time, and then just decided to give it the ass.
That's all G. So what other Age of Sigmar do you have? Was that it? Dominion box?
No, I still have
the Underworld.
Much more. Let me just quickly do a quick bit of behind the scenes. I'm just worried that this isn't that the last 45 minutes got wiped.
Oh yeah. It's possible. We can
what does the time say up in the top corner for you?
47 minutes.
Okay. All right. Maybe it's still rolling. Mine says 55 seconds. Who knows? Let's just go for it.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
We're basically at the end anyways. Well, I mean, we'll speed run the rest, but yeah.
So I've got, where was I? I've got that. I've got Curse City. I've got Warhammer Quest, Silver Tower, and Shadows over Hammerhall. Nighthaunt, the Mortal Realms. Again, a fuckload of that. Plus Soul Wars. Got Seraphon, I've got like a Skink Star Priest, some Carnosaur, and some Warriors.
Yeah.
And I've got an absolute ton of Underworlds. So I've got the list of every warband in front of me that I own. Are you ready for it?
I'm sitting down.
Okay. You can't get any more ready.
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. So, all right. First of all, I have Shadespire, Nightvault, and Beastgrave. So I've got those box sets.
Yep.
But I have Steelheart's Champions, Garrick's Reavers, Sepulchral Guard, Iron Skull's Boys, Spikeclaw's Swarm, the Fast Riders, Magor's Fiends, Stormside's Curse Breakers, Thorns of the Briar Queen, Eyes of the Nine, Zarbag's Gits, Molog's Mob, Thundrick's Profiteers. Please, someone sell me Yathari's Guardians. I haven't got them. Grakshas Despoilers, Saketh Wild Hunt, Ripper Snarlfangs. Here I miss a few. Kago's Reavers, Starblood Stalkers, Crimson Court, Headracker's Mad Mob, Canaan's Reapers, Althane's Soul Raid, Black Powder Buccaneers, X-Bane Hunters, and a Gargant.
And that leads us perfectly into the next segment, which is Shane's intervention for Underworlds collection. Welcome. It's a new game we're going to be playing on the podcast where we say, Shane, what on earth are you doing? And why don't I have all of those as well? Damn. I'm both envious and confused. It's the perfect blend.
I was obsessed with buying like each one as they came out, right?
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I got to stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, th- they're just a cool collector's item, and they're
Mm.
also playable, which is very cool.
Mm.
They're like Funko Pops, but good. So I totally understand. Totally
True.
understand why you would want to collect those of all things. They're super. What do you call it? They're super economical as well. What are they, like $50, $60 a box?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's,
yeah. They were 50. I think they've gone up now, but yeah.
yeah, probably
They're
90.
they're just
following
they're
following
just really
VW trajectory.
unique. Oh yeah, they're doubled in price already. They're just so unique as like
Yeah.
sculpts and everything like that. Like you can like
Yeah.
I've used a couple of them as like characters for different games and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all my Age of Sigmar stuff.
Sweet.
And yeah.
Well, let me find something else we'll both have. I mean, we both got Star Wars Legion. You are just like a more abysmal attempt at Star Wars Legion than myself. I've
Pathetic.
got fully painted based Rebels.
You too. And your pikes and your shadow collectives are nearly there.
Yeah, my Shadow Collective. I've just started batch number 2 on the Shadow Collective, so I've already
Nice.
got 2 armies worth of Shadow Collective, but I'm adding a third, points wise, anyways.
Yeah.
And so they're on the table at the moment, getting done. So that's pretty cool. And you've got some Imperials, I think.
Yeah, Imperials, and I've got Rebels. I got the half of the core set, and I've got Han and Leia.
That's right.
Bought that half off one of the homies in the Discord, Whack.
Yeah. Very cool.
Got some Legion, not much.
Some Legion. I mean, you've got 2 factions. That's respectable.
Yeah.
We both have 2 halves of bolt action, like one of the sets. I've got US Airborne. You've got German something.
Yep. I've also have some US Airborne as well.
Oh, there you go.
Like one box.
You animal. Looking through my list, we both got Infinity. Yours just kind of like some stuff just in case you want to use it for Parsecs one day, I think.
Pretty much, yeah. Some Nomads and then some other random pieces.
Sure. I've got like 500 points of Hack Islam, and like I think Battles played like 300. Yeah, and I just bought another box from Throw the Dice. I haven't picked it up yet. It's the new Hack Islam come in their own box now, a 2-player box with AEST is the other faction.
Oh, yeah.
And they've always been pretty cool. So
Yep.
I got that box and some ALF now as well. So I guess that's my new second faction.
Sweet.
For a game I don't play, but I mean, that is what we do.
That's what we do. Nice, dude. Nice.
I've got some Tests of Honor. I've got 2 commission painted armies and then oodles of unpainted newer Grey for Now games, Samurai and Ashigaru and other stuff.
Yeah. I got no painted except for 1 unit of musketmen, and then just heaps of like plastic stuff that came from like a warlord's army.
That's right.
What have I got? It is. I have got a test. Great for Now Games army, like a samurai warband or whatever it was called.
Oh, from Footsore Minis.
Like sorry, yeah, Footsore Minis. Yeah. When we first got into it, we both got like an actual 16-point army, whatever it is. Yeah, got that.
Yeah, that's true. We should get painting those. It is true. It is a good game. It's just one of those games where it's like every time we think of it, we're like, we've got to play that. That's a good game. And then the next time we get a chance, we're like, let's play 1-page rules.
Yeah.
So I'll just quickly run through the things I have that I don't think you have also.
Yep.
I've got Lord of the Rings, some Isengard Uruk-hai.
Mm-hmm.
I've got... Oh, wait, that's about it, really. I've also got Mantic Armada, like a massive dwarf fleet and a small Basilian fleet.
Yeah. Yep.
And you've got a couple orc ships.
Yeah, and I've got an Empire of Dust fleet as well.
That's right. Yeah. Very cool.
Now, before we started recording, you alluded that an army that I may have forgotten about, or a game system I may have forgotten about.
It was Mantic Armada. I wasn't sure if you remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember.
But you did. Oh, there you go. Dang. Oh, I got nothing then, dude. Yeah. Dang. I got nothing. I've also got I think that's everything from my collection, but I've also got a 1-page rules Jackal army that I've printed.
Yeah, nice.
full size, what is it, 2,000 point Jackal Army. I've also got a 15mm 2,000 point Jackal Army for some reason, just for fun.
Animal.
I wanted to see if I could do it. I could.
Yep.
And then I printed us up 2 Warfleet fleets, which is their, what is it? It's their Battlefleet Gothic answer, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's their,
Yeah.
it's one-page rules, fleet, whatever. So
Yeah.
And then I've just got a heap of random miniatures for like Parsecs and 5 Leagues. Like they're from all different systems, but I bought them for those things primarily. So
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
it. What's your?
Nice.
What do you? I'm curious. Have you got anything else?
I have, I do. So I've got the Harry Potter miniatures game. I've got the core set and 2 Dementors, which, because the models are actually incredible. Like the sculpts look like the actors. It's phenomenal. It's the first time that I've ever seen good looking representations of existing like actors. You know what I mean? Like
I see what you're saying.
like the Harry one actually looks like Daniel Radcliffe when he was fucking 12 or however he was. And they look great. But so I got them. Haven't painted them yet. I hopefully will one day so I can play against Gritty because he was all over them back in the day. I don't know if he still is. Haven't talked about it for a while. My miscellaneous. I've got some Frostgrave stuff, Knights and Soldiers, mostly for Rangers of Shadowdeep.
Cool.
I've got some Rangers of Shadowdeep stuff. I actually got the Rangers for 5 Leagues of the Borderlands. I've got the Rangers 02, which is like the second Rangers kit, Giant Flies, and a Shadow Knight. I've got some Stargrave stuff, some old rogues and some robots. Wargames Atlantic, I've got Giant Spiders, Skeletons, Space Nazis, Lizard Men, French Partisans. I've got a handful of Infinity models for Parsecs, and I've got an Orc fleet and Empire fleet, Empire of Dust for Armada. So there's probably more random stuff, like little bits and pieces. Like I've got a couple of D&D minis and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it. Like the rest of it, you can just like write off probably.
Yeah. I've got lots of little single models. I've got like a little crocodile dude from what's it from? Warmer Hordes from the Horde side.
That I've painted.
I love him. He's adorable. And I would love to play that faction and learn that game, but it's just like I don't have time. No. It's one. There's so many. Yeah, we always say it. There's just so many good games. It's not that there's so many games. There's so many good ones, and it's like, unfortunately, we just can't play them all.
Yeah.
And that's why our backlogs look the way that they do, or our hobby stock takes, because it's like, at one point we tried to convince ourselves in that if we just had them, we would play the game, but that's not always true, because I've just remembered we both have ships from Aeronautica Imperialis. We played that once.
Yep.
We've got those. They're somewhere.
Yeah. I know where mine are. They're in the garage. I was looking at them the other day. Yeah.
There you go. So we've got stuff out the wazoo. But let us know. Give us like a dot point list and just smack the comments with it. Or if there's some hobby systems that you're like, how can these guys both be collecting all these games but not have X? Tell us what X is, because we'll buy it. We don't have time to paint it or play it, but we will buy it.
You have time to spend money.
Yeah.
Oh, God, awesome. No. So, thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks, guys, for hopefully you're still here. We had a little bit of technical difficulty. That's the thing with remote recording. So thank you for bearing with us through that. Yep. Massive shout out to all of our patrons. We couldn't do this without you guys. For as little as $2 a month, you can get early access to videos like this. And you can get entry to giveaways and Patreon-only giveaways. And you get a little fancy Discord role so you can show off your clout in the Discord.
Absolutely. And I just covered the mic, sorry. Absolutely. And the later tiers have discounts for merch and gift packs and all that kinds of stuff. So suss it all out. It helps us endlessly. So does clicking on this video, like, subscribe, or if you're whatever platform you're on, if you can follow or whatever it is, it helps us immensely. Helps us get our reach out. And we will be back in the studio soon. If you're kind of new, this is not our usual setup. As you probably know, you might have checked out some other episodes. We have a
Some of the
studio.
back catalogue. Yeah.
We'll be in there soon.
Yep. Thanks, guys, for watching. And check out hobbyhomies.com for links to all the stuff. We'll see you on the next one.
Love you, bye.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50